Okay, so Assassin's Creed Black Flag. What do you think of it so far since you just started playing the game?
I don't know. It's okay.
It's okay.
Well, yeah.
I mean, once you get farther into the game, you can customize the ship quite a bit more. You can do like the hull armor. You can add up to 23 cannons. You can add mortars. You can add the diving bell, which will come in handy when you're doing the undersea shipwrecks and what have you, to get more building plans to upgrade even more things. Like you can upgrade your harpoons, your harpoon boat, stuff like that. So I mean, the as far as like add-ons and what have you, it's all pretty sweet. As far as like the fighting controls, I think they're kind of like Batman.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it gives you like that little bit of a warning to counter the move. So that's kind of nice. The part that I really, really hate is when you're sitting there hauling ass and you decide to run up a fucking wall instead.
Yeah,
I hate
exactly.
that. It absolutely sucks. It sucks so much. But I'm sorry that I ruined Assassin's Creed 3 for you.
Well, yeah, but
You gotta play it though, because it's absolutely mind-blowing and astonishing. I mean, it is a good game. I like the controls. I like the storyline with it and what have you. You know, with the America becoming a country and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to play the expansion for it. The Tyranny of King Washington. Haven't played that yet. I did see though that they came out with the expansion for Assassin's Creed Black Flag. So your old first mate is now trained and certified to be an assassin and what have you. So there's like 3 extra hours of gameplay, which would be pretty sweet because I can't wait to play that part. But the online play is kind of different.
Yeah, I can't get the hang of online. I'm playing Brotherhood, and it is so... And like it has like the little radar thing.
Yeah.
And
You're talking about when you have to like find the other characters or whatever, the other people that are like hidden amongst stuff. It's like frustrating.
Somebody's above you or below you, and it says up or down, and you're like, I can't fucking see them.
Oh,
I don't know where they are. It says like I should be right next to this person, but he's not there.
Yeah, and then you know, like with me, I started playing it and what have you, and I've gotten a few levels down as far as like the whole rank and what have you. And I've unlocked a few things, not much, because there's just so much to unlock.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of different perks and abilities and what have you. But I mean, doing the online thing, it's difficult. It's kind of a pain in the butt because you see people on there that have ranks that are ridiculous. It's like, how do you have a life? You can't have a life if you're that high of a rank.
It's just skill, I guess. I mean, first, you get more points if you're tailing somebody for a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And your points go up and up and up. It's really satisfying when you do, like, track somebody down and kill them.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely devastating when your target is right there, someone else jumps down and kills your target.
Yeah.
And you're like, I've already pressed the button. They should be dead. I should have gotten the kill.
The part that bothers me the most is, like, you could be perfect, sneaky, little, sly critter, and you be just, sitting there chilling amongst a group of people, and they pick you out out of nowhere. It's like, how?
Yeah, I've killed too many doubles. The only time that I actually ever really killed somebody, if they're jumping up on the rooftops and stuff and they come down, I'm like, that's my target right there.
Yeah, because no one else in the game is doing it.
Yeah.
You know, and there's multiples of the same, you know, characters and what have you. So they could be in a big group, and you're like, I will just kill you all and find out which one it is, because they're gonna run, you know, and if they're smart, they'll stick around, you know, and not move, and then counter you, you know, at the last minute, which is kind of a nice thing if you can get it down in time.
Yeah.
If you don't get the counter down in time, then it's just like, well, I just got ass raped by some douchebag in a silly little jester costume with a knife.
Yeah, well, I saw some online videos where the least populated character is the dandy, you know?
Mm.
So if your target is the dandy, you're pretty much guaranteed to get that kill. Because there's hardly any in the levels. That's the only... I mean, whenever anybody plays as dandy, they don't like playing as the dandy.
Yeah. Well, then there's that other, not really expansion or whatever, but that download that came out for the online multiplayer, the Blackbeard one, which would be interesting to play once it gets downloaded and what have you. But otherwise, besides that, I don't really have too many downs as far as the game. I'm pretty happy with it, besides, you know, running up walls and what have you.
I would
sailing
like
the
to...
ship. I wish that you could do like a different view, just besides when you like do like the travel speed. You're placed outside the ship so you can see around it better. If you could do something like that, even when you're just, you know, either have your mainsails down or all of them, you know, before you hit travel speed. If you could, I think it would be easier, like when you're navigating in and out of tight spots.
Is there like a third-person view you can go into?
See, that's what I've tried looking for, and I haven't found it.
Because when I'm playing Brotherhood, I know that you can hit like right bumper, left bumper, and you go into a tactical view. It's more of like pulled back.
I don't know if they have that when you're actually sailing the ship or not. And then another thing, like towards the end of the game, I wish there was like more interaction with like the other characters. Because throughout the game, you meet a lot of these people, and then, you know, they gradually end up leaving or dying or something crazy. So I wish there was like a mode where you had all of them back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because like with Aldaway, your first mate in the beginning, once he leaves to go do the assassins, then the next time that you see him is only when you're doing that expansion that they came out with. Otherwise, it'd be nicer to have, you know, to get a bigger ship besides the Jackdaw. Like if you could do like transfer the Jackdaw's name to a Man of War would be awesome. Because like most people, I went and sought out all 4 legendary ships. Technically there's 5, because the one up in the right hand corner is 2 Man of Wars. But I mean, they're all difficult. They're all difficult. You have the one that's super freaking fast and loves ramming you, and that's like the top left corner. And then you have the one in the bottom left corner that is got amazing range with their mortars. So you have to weave in and out and just stick on that ship's aft like fucking flies on shit. And you have to like sit there and just keep launching your forward cannons, you know, or like gradually sneak up to the side of them and, you know, launch some of your freaking port or starboard cannons and then fall back to the back, or, you know, just because the mortars on that one are just so difficult. But otherwise,
now in Assassin's Creed Black Flag, does your guy have your like assassin recruits? Like in Brotherhood, You could recruit people, and then you could like hit a button and they come down and like attack somebody for you.
See, I think that's one thing that they got rid of.
I like that.
Because they had it in 3.
Yeah.
Which was nice. They do not have it in this one. In this one, you have, like, drunken pirates that you can call on.
Yeah.
Or, the street workers, the prostitutes, the girls,
Courtesans.
Yeah.
Courtesans.
Something like that. That you can, call on. But you have to have them with you beforehand, and you kind of blend in with them.
Yeah.
Like back when in Assassin's Creed 1, when you could blend in with the monks when they were walking around.
Yeah.
When you're walking around with these, you kind of gray out, your group and everything gets grayed out a little bit, so you know that you're inconspicuous. But as soon as you want to attack someone, boom, they're there. Even if you tell them to go off and flirt with someone or distract them, or with the drunken pirates, you can tell them to go off and fight these guys. But as soon as you need them, they're there. But otherwise, you kind of give them a little bit more direction.
Mercenaries that you can hire, because I played Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood, and both of them you can hire, courtesans, prostitutes, or even mercenaries or thieves. And what I really like is you can hire, mercenaries, and you can tell them to go kill that guy, and your notoriety doesn't go up any.
Yeah. It doesn't really happen in this one too much. Like I said, you could send them to, like the drunk pirates, you could send them to attack. If you tell the girls to go do it, all they do is flirt. But as far as like being noticed and stuff like that, the biggest time it happens is when you've attacked so many ships. Then you get hunter ships coming after you, and the highest you can reach is level 4. And after you've, beaten so many hunter ships, I think after level 2, then it's 2 ships.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're easy as heck to beat, especially if your ship's upgraded nicely. Like mine right now is at 92%. I need mortars and the 23 cannons. I'm at 21, but that's 23 cannons on each side, and then you get the 2 elite mortars up front, which are supposed to be like absolutely amazing. Then you have like the elite hand cannons that you can shoot and what have you. But besides that, there's really not a whole lot going on as far as that goes. Like your wanted level, I guess, it only comes into play with being on the ship. Otherwise, when you're on land, you can still have that wanted level or whatever, but pirate hunters aren't going to come after you, and neither do any of the Spaniards or British. But when you go into like some of the plantations and what have you, or some of the areas of the map where areas are blocked out red because you're not supposed to be in that area or whatever, because it's like a slave plantation, or there's a warehouse there, or a manuscript or something.
Mm-hmm.
Then they just automatically come at you once they see you. But you have like the option of sabotaging the bell so they can't ring in for backups and what have you. But
that's kind of a disappointment that Black Flag doesn't have your little assassin recruits. Because I liked I just recruited somebody, and I have like a level 5, level 6, 7, and 8, and I can take that level 1 guy and send him on like a higher level with like a level 8. He just goes
ranks up fast,
so fast, and it's just it just feels so rewarding to like get these guys, like their armor, their swords, and everything. And I don't know, I'm addicted to it. And when I have to go on missions where I need them, I'm like, I don't want them. It's like I want them out doing contracts and stuff.
Yeah,
I want them making
contracts,
money
getting all the
and
side
all this
missions
other.
and
Yeah.
stuff done would be nice that you could send them off to do that. I think like the closest that this comes is when you can do things with your fleet. Because if you board a ship, whether it's a man of war or a frigate or a brig or a schooner, you can choose to add it to your fleet at a certain point in the game. And then you can send those ships out to do missions. Go back to, Europe or to Africa or South America or up the coast to like the new colonies and what have you. And you not only get money for it, but you can actually get like sped up or healed by a friend on Xbox Live that's playing the game. And they bring back rewards besides money, which is nice.
Well,
but that's as close as it really gets to anything like that.
Have you gone into any of the community events?
No, not yet.
No.
Nope, haven't done any of those.
Huh. Okay.
No, just the online multiplayer. That's about it, and the whole fleet thing. But I mean, I'm still doing a lot of in-game exploring. As far as like the real world missions and what have you, you got to hack 33 computers and you have to find 20 sticky notes and what have you. I mean, when you're in that Abstergo entertainment building, just start at the bottom floor at the very front gate where you do in the beginning when you meet like your boss chick or whatever. Check out those 2 rooms and make your way up to the front, into like the main lobby. Check all those rooms, then just go all the way down to like the basement floor where they have like the what do they call it in the game? It's like the kind of like a fallout shelter type thing, but not really. It's where like their servers are. Yeah, the bunker. And there's a couple of rooms set up down there and what have you, and there's some computers and a server to hack down there, and then on your main floor that you're on, the subject 17, there's the majority of the computers are up there, but I mean it does make you kind of search quite a bit. And then when you're hacking into the computers, there's 3 different things, and it's all based off of the computer that you're trying to hack into. You'll either do a sphere thing where you have to get to where it's like an infinite loop and it'll be marked in green, and you have to like search your way around this sphere and everything in order to get to that green loop, because it's the only one that is a complete circle, a complete loop. So you get in there, and that's one security thing. And then another one that you have to bypass or get through is you have all these different lines, and then all these dots over here and all these dots over here, and you're an information packet, and you have to get in between these red lines and jump to the empty spaces in between them. And there'll be, a few or whatever, or a couple that'll sit there and flicker white, and then when they start slowing down, it'll turn solid red, and then boom, you have to start all over. Now, you just kind of jump that information packet from one end to the other. And then the last one, which really isn't the hardest, is it gives you a number to match up top, and then you have to do a sequence 2, 3, 5, and 7, 2, 3, 5, 7, 2, 3, 5, 7, 2, 3, 5, 7, and figure out the number sequence at the bottom in order to get that number that they have up top.
And I haven't played a lot of Assassin's Creed 2, but I played quite a bit of Brotherhood. Is this the most in-depth real-world missions? Because I haven't played Assassin's Creed 3, and I don't leave the Animus, really, because the only thing I have to do outside of the Animus so far in Brotherhood is check emails. And that's it.
Well,
like, there's no reason to leave.
In Assassin's Creed 3, you have to get out of the Animus and do a few real-world missions and what have you. Mostly what I did was explore because it's kind of weird, but there's like these apparitions or whatever that are in there, and you try and follow them around or whatever the hell, But as far as Assassin's Creed Black Flag goes, the real world missions, I mean, there's nothing too exciting about them besides hacking this and figuring out some stuff. Towards the end of the game, when the guy that you see working on your computer in the beginning, when he comes out and tries to attack you and then ends up getting shot.
That's a spoiler.
Oh. Oh. Well, anyway, that guy, towards the end when you meet up with him, that's kind of like the most action you see in the real world.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's about it. It's pretty boring.
I mean,
most of the action is dead set in the Animus, being Edward Kenway, sailing around in the Caribbean.
Now, what's the name of the new guy you play as?
Oh,
in
Edward Kenway.
In the real world.
Oh, I don't know.
You
no
don't?
Clue.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No.
Do they ever give him a face or anything?
No, not a face,
person?
nothing. The only thing that I've ever come across is like when you're hacking the computer or whatever, there's a file on there about a person that was ex-special forces, but I don't see that as being you, and how his only liability and downfall is the fact that he has a daughter, but otherwise, no, they don't really give you a whole bunch of hints as to who you are.
Huh.
So it's like kind of a pain in the butt to figure out, because in the third one, obviously you're Desmond. In the second one, you find out who you are, because you end up, what is it? Is it the second one? Yeah, it's the second one where you kind of escape, and you're like in the apartment or whatever.
Well, wasn't in the first one you came out of the Animus or whatever? You find out that you are Desmond.
I think that's the second one. The second one, you find out you're Desmond, right?
I
can't
didn't.
remember.
I only played a little bit of the first one. I remember going around, and you were like in like a cell. It reminded me of a lot.
I think
like
that is the first one,
Yeah.
because the second one, the chick gets you out,
Yeah.
and takes you to the apartment and everything, so that you can continue, helping the assassins do whatever instead of the Templars, and they have their own Animus set up, and the guy's gloating about it, saying, "Well, mine is better than Abstergo's."
Yeah.
And then you go and talk to the other guy, and he's like, "I'm busy right now," and he's just kind of like a snot. But
That's the guy that does his voice, does Wheatley voice in Portal 2.
really,
Yeah.
that's different enough. Oh, they're trying to figure it out. Who was it? There's one guy, and then once again, it kind of jumps back to like Batman, but they jumped his voice from one character in the Batman Arkham series to another character. So he was Joker, then they put him in as someone else. But not real sure. But I mean, I can't even remember his name right now. But he's a very famous freaking voice actor.
Yeah,
for the video games.
He did. Well, there's two guys that is Nolan North. And then there's, I can't remember his name, but he does the main voice of the, like, Brooker duet or whatever in BioShock Infinite.
Okay.
Yeah, he was on an episode of Tabletop.
I was actually talking to some of the guys down at, when was it? It was the night that freaking Batman Arkham Origins came out. Talking to the guys down at GameStop here, by the Walmart, and they were talking about how because the Joker and what have you isn't really in this one, how they still use the same voice actor for another character, and he did a very good job. Or was it because the one actor died? voice actor. I can't remember.
The voice actor for the Joker is crap. What's his name? He was Luke in Star Wars. That's the Joker.
Okay, I know who you're talking about. Dang. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I can't place his name.
I can't either. And I just seen a picture of him the other day, and I was like, "Holy cow, that dude got chunky."
He's really old.
Yeah, he is. Did you hear that George Lucas sold the whole Star Wars thing to Disney?
Yeah.
I wonder how much money that was. My God, that'd be billions.
Well, before we get too far off topic of Batman, did you have any problems with Origins?
As
like
far
glitches
as
and
I have not. I
Really?
actually beat the story mode.
because
in
people were
a good amount of
complaining
time.
about file corruptions and
Nope, never had
Stuff
any
like that.
issues.
really.
None.
Wow. Okay.
No, it was a very smooth running game for me. I didn't have any issues at all.
Well, when did you get it? Did you get it
I
like
got
day
it
one?
the day that it came out.
Okay.
Haven't had one issue. Same thing with Call of Duty Ghosts, Battlefield 4, Black Flag, all that. Got them
You
all.
didn't
when
have
they came
any
out.
problems with
None of them.
Battlefield?
None.
Really?
The only game that I ever had a huge headache with that just made me like explosive like diarrhea mouth was Call of Duty Ghosts.
Yeah.
And the spawn points have gotten better with it, but when I started playing it, I played it the night it came out for a little bit, and then had to work the majority of that week, so didn't really play it until that first weekend when they were doing double XP, and
Yeah.
I was just like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. These spawn points, this whole smart spawn setup is absolute garbage. I was like, why would they put a game out with this kind of shit going on?
Yeah, I had the same experience with World at War when it first came out.
I mean, it
People
was,
getting under maps and stuff.
yeah. Well, World at War, I mean, everything's, for the most part, shut down with that just because everybody was hacking it. And I mean, you know, when a new Call of Duty comes out, they don't really care about the old servers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they stop making map packs and shit for them and concentrate on the new stuff. Well, with Black Ops 2, I love the new zombie maps that they came out with. The one where you're back in you know, World War II and you have the German robots walking past you and everything. I love that. Thought it was absolutely awesome how you can get in Odin, Thor, and Freya and
Yeah.
get staff pieces and what have you. I love that whole thing. I loved, you know, what was it, like No Man's Land or whatever, you know, that alternate dimension, what have you. And just so many like Easter eggs with that game. It was awesome. Loved it. Couldn't get enough of it. And even the map pack before that had Buried, and you were in, you know, the underground, and you had to try and make it back up to the surface. Fucking loved it. It was so cool. How you had to use freaking Leroy to destroy the water fountains and what have you. When you're in the maze, going through the maze, the house was nuts. I mean, having to go through and you had those witches or ghosts or whatever they were, and they you know, attack you is like absolutely nuts. I love the
voice of the
gameplay.
new
That.
Joker is Troy Baker.
Troy Baker.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. That makes sense then. But yeah, he did a very good job.
So
Battlefield 4.
I think that should be time. We're 30 minutes now.
Mm.
This is gonna be a big file.
This is gonna be a big file.
Just imagine if this was HD. So, you can put
30
this
seconds.
on YouTube.
Yeah, we probably could.
Okay, like, subscribe, and comment on what you wanna what you want us to talk about next.
Just remember, we're poor, so we can only do so many games.